If you're looking for a movie that is slow, that is romantic, and that has lots of lessons to a lot of people, then this particular movie is for you. The movie title is When Grace Meets Desire. I believe you might have seen it. A lot of us have seen it because this movie was released yesterday and it is showing on Chinney Love Eze TV. This very movie features Chioma Chukwuka, John Ekanem, alongside other amazing actors and actresses, right? It's an amazing movie. Like I said, if you're looking for a slow movie, romantic one, then this very movie is for you. Now, why would I say this movie is slow? From the very beginning I started watching this movie down till the end, there was no, something that would it's not a fast movie. Not trying to point out anything, but it's just not a fast movie. I mean it's a romantic movie, yeah, but it's at a very slow pace. If you've seen this movie, then you should understand what I'm saying, and if you haven't seen it yet, then you should go see this movie on Chinney Love Eze TV. Yeah. So the characters in the movie are Esther and Kelvin, and her daughter, Esther's daughter, which is Bella, right? So Esther happens to be a pastor in this movie, while Kelvin, that is John Ekanem, happens to be the photographer in the movie that Esther's daughter connected her with, because she needed a photographer for a particular convention, right? So he had to travel down to where the convention was holding, and that's where they both clicked. As much as they clicked, Esther was still in so much awareness, like, oh, I'm a pastor, oh, this boy is younger, oh, I'm not supposed to be involved in something like this, right? She denied herself of such desire, right? So it was now like, let me put it like this for you. The title, When Grace happens to be Esther, right, meets Desire, and Desire happens to be what's his name, Kelvin, right? So Grace is Esther, Kelvin is Desire. So when Grace meets Desire, if you watch the movie, you can tell from the beginning what Grace was saying. So it was very clear, right? And in this particular video, I will be going through the comment section of this particular movie so as to tell you that a lot of people enjoyed it as much as the movie went as it went, right? It was not a movie that was filled with so much actions. Yes, that's the word. It's not a movie that was filled with so much actions, but it has lots of lessons, right? I believe there are people, or there are people that are actually in such a situation and might not know how to go about it. This movie probably brought an insight to them on how to go about it the right way. Okay, at the end of the day, it was discovered that Esther found herself, right? She found herself in the midst of everything, in the midst of the chaos, in the midst of the church members, church leaders judging her and all. She found herself, and she found out that she was truly in love with Kelvin, right? This story at first was giving this vibe of, oh, maybe Esther was going to do a lot of funny things with Kelvin. But if you noticed, from the beginning of this movie till the end, there was nothing like that, and kudos to the cast and crew for this. I mean, of course, it's Chioma Chukwuka, an amazing actress. I believe a lot of us watched this movie because anything that has any movie that has Chioma Chukwuka in it, it's always a hit, and this was really not an exception. Only the fact that it was a slow-paced movie, right? Everything was just done at its pace. All right, so let's without talking too much, let's go through the comment sections and let's see what people have to say. And yeah, another thing before I forget, Esther's daughter, that is Bella, right? She was amazing. I loved the connection between the mother and the daughter, right? Because in most homes, you can tell that the parents are not really fluent in conversations with their children. They try to instill this fear in them, but this particular movie taught us that it is actually fun for you to have a very beautiful conversation and a connection with your children, be it one or two, whichever number you have, right, and whatever gender that you have. Okay, so the connection was very visible. It was very clear. Like I loved seeing them together. Whenever it's their turn to show, like whenever it's their scene, I always enjoy that part, right? So it was really beautiful. So I loved that part about the movie. So one Ogochukwu is saying Nigerian movies has a way of ending when the movie is just getting started. I might say this particular person is trying to point out the fact that this movie, the way it just started, remember we saw Esther and Kelvin together in her office, right? So you can tell that there was a romantic display, right? There was that is, we're going to be seeing more of this in the movie. So I believe that's what this person is trying to say. But if you watch deep into it and without sentiments and everything, you're going to enjoy it still. Let's see another one. One big black and beautiful is saying this movie is for me. Thank you God for answering me on my way. You can see the movie speaks to a lot of people. You really can't tell, right? If it's not so nice for you, it is definitely nice for others, right? Then looking for comments that is relatable to the movie. Mace Health Center is saying this is wow, lots of lessons and it was unpredictable. I enjoyed it. Exactly. Remember when I said that you might just tell that this movie is something that, oh, Esther and Kevin will be intertwined with in this romantic saga thing, but it was not so, right? It was very, very straight to the point. It was like what you were expecting to see, it's not what they are giving. Remember when he asked her to be his muse, you probably will be going through a lot of things in your head like, oh, okay, this is what's going to happen at the end, but nothing happened, right? So it was really unpredictable and it's an enjoyable movie, right? Then we want to laugh about Israel is saying the way she stood for the shoot, she was uncomfortable with the outfit. Yeah, that part where her daughter had to change her entire closet, it was very funny. In my mind I was like, why would she even do this? Why is she trying to, force a lot of things, and to think that she was doing it for someone that she felt was in love with her mother, not knowing the person was trying to play the mom and someone else, right? That's the other pastor. Okay, that's I've even forgotten his name. All right. There is, yeah, and that part, the way she stood for the shoot. The first time now when Kevin was taking her pictures, she just stood like, I was like, you cannot pose this because you're a pastor. Please loosen up. So, yeah. Mavis is saying her daughter is so encouraging and supporting. That's very true. Even the part where she told her daughter that she liked someone, and I was kind of expecting a different reaction, but to my surprise, the daughter was really excited and supported the mother all through. Most people would not do that. Tell yourself the truth. Okay, another blush. I think this will be the second to the last. After this, we'll take one more, and that's it. Rachel is saying one thing I appreciate about this movie is how the daughter supports her mother and doesn't judge her. Very amazing movie with many lessons. Very true. Now the very last one is this. This is quite long, but let's go by. Let's work with this. Lucy is saying I'm a Christian, but I must say these churches are packed full with hypocrites. True. How can a woman who has given her heart and soul, blood and sweat and tears to serving God, be treated so harshly because she chose to love? Like, it's just hypocrisy. I didn't even talk about it because they're just blabbing. I loved her response. The fact that they've already judged her, so why should she come to defend herself? She would just accept whatever decision they get to make. That was a very good choice. So behind closed doors, the horrific things that some of these vile so-called pastors get to do is despicable. Yet they are always the first to burn people to the stake for choosing happiness. Most people are like that. A real life story well played by Chioma, that's Pastor Esther of course, and John, especially that's Kelvin. Also, I must say that all the actors involved portrayed their parts beautifully. Yeah, remember Ehi, right? The one that leaked some pictures and all. Let's leave her. I especially enjoyed the part played by the daughter as she guided her mother's heart towards peace. And the truth is, if the daughter was not supportive, Esther would have dropped the whole thing. But because her daughter was supportive and really wanted her happiness, she was positive about anything that has to do with her mom finding love and just being happy in general. So that was what pushed Esther to do to find peace and want to, go on with her heart. Yeah. So a big thumbs up for this one. That's it, guys. If you haven't seen the movie titled When Grace Meets Desire, now showing on Chinney Love Eze TV, then you should see it. It's a must watch. I will see you in my next video. Please, this movie is a very slow one, that's why I'm even like this. I will see you guys in the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't, like, comment and share. Until the next video drops. Bye for now, guys.